Friday, investigators from my office, joined by the Jerseyville Police and the Jersey County Sheriff's Department and the South Central Illinois Drug Task Force, scored a major victory in our efforts to stop the spread of synthetic drugs in Illinois. In the course of the operation, we were able to uncover one of Central Illinois' major distributors of synthetic drugs, William F. Brockman Wholesale Tobacco and Candy, located in Jerseyville. There we found 600 packages of synthetic drugs with a street value of $32,000. Upon further investigation, the officers also retrieved an additional 1,500 packages of illegal drugs valued at $65,000 from the home of a Brockman Wholesale employee. In all, we were able to prevent over $110,000 worth of illegal synthetic drugs from reaching stores throughout Central Illinois. This wholesaler is suspected of supplying synthetic drugs to retailers and communities as far south as Benton and all the way to Decatur. So with this development, we have reached a critical moment in our effort. It marks the next step in our work to confront this growing problem on all fronts. When we began last fall, we had a simple but very important goal of raising awareness about these drugs among law enforcement, prosecutors, medical professionals, educators, and parents, because synthetic drugs were still a mystery to many, and that is especially true of parents, but they were extremely popular with teenagers and with young adults. But they often and continue to have very tragic results. Many kids that we have spoken with who have taken synthetic drugs tell us that they were under the impression that because these chemicals were for sale in a store, that they were not just legal, but that they were safe. Unfortunately, far too many children have learned that when you ingest synthetic drugs, you are really playing Russian roulette with your body and with your brain. And so since then, we have kept on in our work to raise awareness about the deadly dangers of synthetic drugs, and we have also visited communities throughout Illinois, going to retail locations who are still selling these drugs even though they are illegal. With last week's development, we're making advances on another front in this fight, and that is to reduce the supply chain. Add to that our legislative efforts, and you can start to see the wholesale nature of our fight against synthetic drugs. Here in Springfield, my office has put forward a bill to make all formulations of synthetic drugs illegal under the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act. This legislation will allow us to move beyond the efforts to outlaw certain chemical makeups of synthetic drugs, as has been done in recent years both here in Illinois and in states throughout the nation. This legislation, combined with our efforts on the ground in communities all across the state, is a full-scale pushback against the synthetic drug trade in Illinois. I know that we all share a sense of urgency to get our arms around what I would deem one of the most dangerous public health threats that we've seen in many years. Unfortunately, there are no simple solutions, and that is why it is vital that we all continue to work together. Law enforcement, with prosecutors, with educators, with medical professionals, and especially with parents and with teenagers and young adults to educate them on the very, very significant dangers of these drugs. And so I want to thank all of the members of law enforcement that are here with me today for the incredible work that they have done, and I know that we will continue to do together to fight against synthetic drugs. Next, let me bring up I'm going to bring up the sheriff of Jersey County, Mark